Charlie Kirk once said, and I have read, if you're a Christian, you see. I don't know about you, but for years now, I've seen what's going on, knowing that all this crazy shit that's happening was definitely a spiritual war. Because we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against darkness and spirits. So if you don't believe or have faith, you would be losing your mind over all this. I mean, think about it. There is no rational explanation for the things that they have been putting us through. But if you see and you know that there is a God, and we are not Him, there's an entire dimension of angels, demon spirits that are constantly struggling all around us. So, if there's a supernatural dimension, all of a sudden that makes sense, doesn't it? Did it make sense to shut down our schools so you could sacrifice the kids so the elderly could live? Did it make sense to keep the alcohol stores open and the dispensaries open, but the church was not essential, remember? So only demonic enterprises would do that, right? Easter and Pentecost, it's not essential, but rioting and burning down our buildings is essential, right? So then this does make sense. A spiritual war. For those that know the truth, it did make sense, and we knew what was going on. God is a God of order and distinction, and the first thing that God did was, remember in the Genesis, God created heaven and earth. Then He separated and made sense, and He made order out of chaos. Our God is a God of order, and order only comes from distinction. I mean, think of all the distinctions He did in the first 6 books of Genesis, currently that are under attack. The distinction between male and female. That was obvious in Genesis in the Garden of Eden, remember? The distinction between man and nature. The distinction between holy and profane. The distinction between good and evil. This was made clear with the garden, remember? The distinction between infant and adult. So remember, this is what civilization was built upon. But Satan's goal was to blur and destroy those distinctions, because with those, we get order. If we don't have that, then we get the closest thing to satanic chaos.